Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Capernaum. And this Lebanese film I got to check out on Friday, and definitely was the feel-bad movie of the afternoon, because boy is this movie hard to watch. But it's extremely powerful, and I can see why this film was getting a lot of buzz in terms of foreign language film at this year's Oscars, and I don't believe this film wound up getting nominated. I don't believe so. Now I'm having trouble remembering. I'll check back later, or you could put it in the comments and tell me that I'm right or wrong. But the thing is, this film is about a young man who is impoverished, has like a ridiculous amount of siblings, his parents don't have any support for them, and he winds up in jail. And you find out why and how this film goes on, and then he sues his parents. And you can, from like the trailer, there's this moment in the trailer where he's like, I want them to stop having kids. And honestly, this film really deals with the issues of poverty in the city of Beirut in Lebanon. And this film is like, there's no melodrama, there's no obnoxious high dramatic scenes with swelling music. This film just like really captures a dark underbelly of what society can be, and the unfortunate situations where a lot of people wind up who are impoverished, have a lot of children, they don't have birth control, they keep having kids, more and more kids are brought into the world in this poverty, and then what the hell happens to all these kids? And unfortunately for our young main character Zane, he winds up in jail in this juvenile detention prison. And what this film really captures is this really hard realization of this like 12-year-old kid having to step up, and he winds up running away, and him dealing with missing his sister who he loves very, very much, who's taken away and whisked off to be married at age 11. And him meeting up with this one Ethiopian immigrant and winds up having to take care of her child, and him having to struggle finding any means necessary, whether it's stealing or scamming people to try to feed this child and himself, and all the hardship that he goes through. And after a while, it's tough to be able to sit through this movie. I'll admit there are certain parts where the pacing of this film lagged a bit in the earlier parts of this film, and then it really does kick into gear, and you're just on this downward spiral ride of watching this young kid who, it's like, this isn't some like shining light, easygoing kid with all the hope in the world getting through this hardship. This is a kid that's like broken down by the world, and he curses a lot, he steals, and he's kind of has to do what he has to do, and he goes to very drastic places to be able to do stuff and take care of himself. And there's some horrible things and decisions that he has to make along the way, and heartbreaking moments of like this heavy emotion. And there's some really fantastic performances in this film, and from top to bottom this is so well put together. The music really captures things really well and is a beautiful score, and this is really well shot, and you really get the gritty nature of his environment and feeling how you're basically dropped into this world and forced to deal with it just as much as him. And it's what makes it such a hard watch, is that there's no like letting up in this film. There's no like there's light among the darkness and little moments of human connection, but a lot of the time it's struggle and trying to survive. And this film really captures that extremely well. And Nadine Labaki, who's the writer and director of this film, she does such a fantastic job of really bringing this to light and to reality, and you sitting there and having to sit through it and being able to connect with these characters and understand what they're going through. This is a very powerful film. I definitely think this film should get a lot of that attention that it was getting towards award season, because this is a really powerful film. If you're not super into really tough, hard to watch dramas that really push the limits, and this really isn't for you, because this is really hard to watch. But if you're really into getting lost in another society and seeing how other people live in different parts of the world and empathizing and going through this situation and really connecting with somebody dealing with these hardships, this is a fantastic film and really worth the time and effort. So I'd highly recommend Capernaum, and let me know what you think. If you've seen the film, comment. If you haven't, have other questions, let me know. And thank you as always for supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.